I definitely have my loop earplugs in today because this white noise and all these noises around have been so infuriating to the point where I can't even think my thoughts. Has that ever happened to you? For the past 3 days, it has been a struggle to think. It has been a struggle to read. It has been a struggle to concentrate simply because that white little buzzing noise that these ACs and TVs and lights give off, just like in your ear, just so loud. I don't understand it. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave a comment below because I am tired, but these loop earplugs have been so life-changing for me. It sounds like you're like underwater and there's like no sounds around, just barely like a hum, just like heaven. And this is not sponsored, by the way, but please sponsor me if you're going to, because these have been a life changer. I got the one that you could change the settings depending on like what type of environment you're in. I got it on the lowest setting right now because of course I have to hear myself speak while doing this. But speaking about loud noises, 2024 has been the loudest noise of SA assaults, SA allegations, SA cases in a while now, even worse than the Me Too movement. And I'm actually tired of it, but at the same time, I'm here to report it as well. If you don't know who Young Philly is, he's actually a very popular British YouTuber who I first caught winds of when I was like doom scrolling YouTube shorts one day. And I actually followed Foot Asylum because it was actually pretty funny. He was very successful and he also had a crew along with him. I know there's Darkman, there's Chunkz, and a lot of people just surrounding him doing YouTube content. It's unfortunate because these people are now involved for something stupid that their coworker did or their fellow friend did, and it's just very loud noise. We have people coming out of left field, people coming out of right field, people coming out of backfield, people just saying what they gotta say about the situation, which is cool. I'm all about the content. It's cool.
Popular musician and YouTuber from the UK known as Young Philly has been extradited from Queensland to WA, accused of serious sexual assault allegations following an incident in Perth.
That's right, Lara, and it's serious. He's facing 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent, 3 counts of assault occasioning bodily harm, and 1 count of impeding a person's normal breathing or circulation. Detectives say the 29-year-old man sexually assaulted a woman in her 20s in his Perth hotel room after he performed an event in Hillary's on Saturday, September 28.
Young Philly actually got arrested for 4 counts of SA. And the police said they have an extremely strong case due to the CC camera footage they obtained. Now, as of today, he posted bail, $200,000, and it's actually a conditional bail. So not only was his passport taken from him, but he has to report to the police station regularly. So imagine him going to the police station, I don't know how many times a week, but there are definitely reporters out there waiting for him to talk and say something on a almost daily basis. Imagine going through that. Up until December 19th, he cannot leave the state until the second hearing begins on that day. When it comes to the brands and the companies that has dropped him, we have Foot Asylum, we have Football Association, we have Heinz, we have ASOS, whatever that is. And we have people like Chunkz coming out to say something. We have FreshandFit coming out to say something. And FreshandFit is kind of weird because they're actually probably on the right coin of things. And lately they have just been taking L after L after L. And this time they might have a little win because they actually said something pretty interesting, which we're going to get into. And we also have like people just randomly saying things about Philly which we never heard before. Some of it is damning. Some of it is more, I'm on Philly's side, but I also don't have any proof. It's just a whole bunch of noise, as I said, just a whole bunch of noise. But we're going to get into it. FreshandFit went on Twitter And they actually posted this. I'm all for protecting men when falsely accused, but this right here, bruh, where do I begin? Anyone that knows this moves with gal can tell you he moves too thirsty. Got a story about him in the UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. No Philly. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. And it's actually kind of interesting because these guys are usually on the men's side. But as he said, only when they're falsely accused. And we have no idea where this case is going to go, if he's actually going to be convicted. But as I said, a lot of people are coming out of nowhere telling their stories about Philly. And some of these stories are actually kind of disturbing in a way, but we also have no proof. We just have stories. I haven't seen any camera footage, nothing. As it's different from the Diddy situation because Diddy, we actually had camera footage of him, doing that thing to Cassie. But when it comes to young Philly, we don't have that camera footage as of right now. All we could do is listen to the stories people are telling. So we're going to go into Fresh and Fit's story.
Also, YouTuber was like, yeah, well, that's so-and-so. He's a popular YouTuber here in the UK. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe he knows the girls, whatever. Mind you, he didn't know most of the girls there. He just knew one of them that I was talking to, which is fine. And we're chilling, vibing, whatever. Remember, I said the club closed in like 30 minutes. He comes at the very end at the club, and he's there at the table. I'm like, who's this guy, whatever. So then he's talking to most girls at the table. I know what I'm talking to. He takes particular interest into. So he's like talking to her, touching her, whatever. She's looking at me like, yo, like, what you trying to do? I'm like, listen, do your thing, because I'm not gonna, force it, whatever. So then I'm talking to the YouTuber girl, and she's like, yo, listen, like, I know she wants to go home with you, so I'm like,
because that was her friend, right?
Yeah, so yeah. I'm gonna talk to her because I can tell he's being very pushy, which hence is young Philly. They're like thirsty, bro. Like, when I say like overly thirsty, is like grabbing her, trying to pull her to the car, take away from her friend. This is like, bro, do your thing. I'm not gonna stop you because, hey, that's only your brother. She's a grown woman. You're a grown man. Do what you gotta do. But it was like,
was he like drunk?
People could say he was. I don't know. They could see he was very like.
But he came at the end.
Very end, yeah. So I'm like, listen.
Did you know who you were? Did he even introduce himself or anything?
We spoke for a little bit. And I say, yo, listen, bro.
Did he say what's up? Like,
well, she introduced us together. The YouTuber girl, and we spoke for maybe 5 minutes. I get my Instagram, he gave me his, we follow each other, and then we DM each other the next day. But in real time, bro, I'm like, you see me with Shorty, like, are you good?
Oh, he saw you with her.
Yeah, for real.
And he still
so I'm like,
I'm sorry, this is so infuriating because it seems as if when Fit talks, Fresh never listens to him. Like, he really don't care what this man got to say when it comes to being on the podcast. And sometimes what Fit is saying is actually important, and Fresh is just like, la 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 la. Oh, okay. This is one of the examples where it's like, what is that dynamic here? I feel like they go to separate soon, but that's me. That's just me. We gotta listen to the rest. Y'all see what I'm talking about soon.
Listen, bro, this is your city, bro.
Okay, that changes things a lot.
Yeah.
So he literally he walks in, he sees you talking to her,
yeah,
and you're with her.
But she's dancing with me.
And he still goes and tries to grab her.
Yeah. Mind you, I'm like circling the club.
That's an important detail, Fresh.
Different girls at the same time, so I'm like doing my thing. But nonetheless, I'm there like, you know what? I'm forcing it. Hey, bro, if you take her, cool. Mind you, the whole time her friend's like, yo, no, she likes you a lot. She told me this before. She's gonna come to your hotel, whatever. Don't worry. So we walk outside of the club, and we're just there chilling. I kid you not, bro. Pulling the girl to the car, like pulling her, legit pulling her, and I'm like, I'm going to the hotel, and her friends are like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what's happening? Somebody go get her. She's like, where are you guys going? Like, why is he pulling me this way? I'm like, I'm out of here.
In these type of situations, it's kind of a rock and a hard place to be in. And we could all say, like, why didn't he step in and do something? But at the same time, he doesn't want it to escalate into something it shouldn't escalate. You never know what people got on them. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm happy that this girl came back safe. But at the same time, it's kind of like, bro, you're the man. You didn't step in. You was just like, whatever, I'm going to my hotel room. Because you didn't want to get involved, which I also understand. It's just a rock and a hard place to be in because you want to do something, but at the same time, you don't want anything to happen to you. You know, if I see a girl being pulled into a car, I'm going to be kind of frustrated because it's like, bro, why are you doing that to her? But at the same time, I don't want to be pulled into the car with him. It's a difficult situation to be in because when I first heard this story, I was just like, why didn't he step in and do anything? But you know, sometimes you gotta save yourself, bro. Sometimes you got to choose yourself, bro. And that's a sad thing to say, but it's the truth. You never know what's gonna go on.
I don't want to be involved with this because I can see where this is going if it gets to that point, and then like if that whatever happens. So I leave. I go to my hotel. I get a text saying, "Yo, listen, I'm dropping her off to you right now," which is the YouTuber girl that told me she's coming.
Okay, so she grabbed her from him.
Yeah.
Brave of her. Brave of her. Like, if that was my girl, I probably would have did the same thing too. I would have been pissed off with this man that didn't help. She's a brave girl because you never know what situation your friend is in, and then you gotta go and chase her and save her. Like, you have to be very cautious in those situations and very subtle with your maneuvers because it's like shit could hit the fan at any moment. Like, you have to be very, very sly to get out of that kind of situation.
And then I asked her, so what happened? You didn't want to go home, boy? Oh no, this and that. He was being pushy, whatever. But I want to go home with you. I just didn't want to like make a scene. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then that was it.
I don't want to make a scene. Yeah, exactly. It's a difficult situation because you don't want to make a scene. Because once a scene is seen. Nah, but you don't want to make a scene because it could come off the wrong way, and then just the shit escalates, and then you in a deeper situation that you didn't want to get in the first place.
I don't know if he was on. I don't know what he was on, bro. He just like heavily thirsty for that girl, and he wanted to smash by any means possible. So I was like, oh shit, this is how this thing moves. She's like, yeah, everyone knows. So that's when I heard the story. I'm like, I'm not surprised because I've seen it myself and I've heard from other people the same thing. And if you recognize, everyone on YouTube, bro, is saying the same thing like, oh, this guy is like this and that. I'm not surprised. Why is that? Everyone has the same story about this guy. Arrogant, entitled, thirsty.
He didn't know anybody there?
It was me and two other guys and then beer gal. That was it. So 3 guys and like 8
But
girls.
who did he know there?
The YouTuber girl.
You just he knew. All right. Come on, man.
Myron, you gotta stop, bro.
Bro,
Because, bro, I'm not trying to put names in this, bro. Like,
right,
what's wrong with you, dude?
The communication is always off with these dudes. Like, Fresh is about to get out of there real quick because he be getting so upset at Fit to the point where he's like, bro, are you dumb? Like, this is why we get canceled so much. This is why we get demonetized so much, because you just be naming names when a name don't want to be named, or like you just go on these rants and then get us in trouble and then blame other people and don't take any accountability. Like, he's about to not take accountability again. Watch.
Like, come on, man.
But whatever, man. It ain't that big a deal.
Anyhow,
Not that big of a deal. Anyways, aside from the little banter that they had, disagreement that they had, I just want to point out something that Fresh said that's important. He said he didn't want to escalate the situation because, 1, that's not his city, and 2, he doesn't know who Young Philly is. They just met that day. And we could say all day, oh, Fresh should have saved that girl, Fresh should have stepped in and did something. But at the end of the day, when you're in a type of situation where you don't want things to escalate and your flight and flight senses kicked in, you would not know what to do. Even the girl that actually got her friend back to safety was like, I just don't want to escalate situation. So she very smartly played her role and was like, let's go. We got to go. We're going somewhere else. and got herself out that situation along with her friend. We could say all day, oh, men should protect women and things like that. But at the same time, protect yourself first and foremost. And also, you got to understand, like, once somebody steps into the situation, they are also now in danger. So you can say all these things all you want, but until you're in that predicament, you won't understand how that feels. It also goes to show you where people go wrong, because for somebody to be able to pull a girl into a car and not be talked to or not cause a scene shows you how easy it is to get away in these situations because nobody wants to step in. You get what I'm saying? Like, he probably did this a couple times, and it goes to show what fear could do to the point where nobody wants to step in. And that happens a lot. So just got to add that in there. But it's so funny to me how they just start arguing about releasing the name that was not supposed to be named. And I have a feeling that Fresh is just tired of Fit's shit and just wants to leave the podcast, but because of loyalty, he's staying. But that's another story for another day. It's very interesting to me that even the guys who are on the bro side is saying this man should not be trusted. Like, it's astonishing. It's astonishing to me that the people who are actually on the bro side, for the most part, are not on the bro side. That speaks volumes to Philly's character. There's a video of Chunkz mentioning that he wouldn't let young Philly marry into his family.
What?
Would you let me marry into your family?
110%. You specifically, you are a great flipping human being on my life, brother. Yeah, I'll let you.
I wouldn't let you marry my family, but yeah.
Why?
Huh?
I'm a good man.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
No, I had too many stories.
What stories?
Huh? Been to the last. I'm not listening. That's very scary.
Yeah, but
He's like, I heard too many stories. And then Chunkz goes on to say,
that's very scary.
yeah, but
and if you put two and two together, what has Chunkz heard? So Chunkz was actually on the stands of public opinion where it was like, hey, Chunkz, you've been with him. You said this. What do you have to say for yourself now? And Chunkz went online to give his reaction, which was basically, I don't want to say anything right now because the case is ongoing.
Yes, my peoples, like everyone, I've heard the reports coming out of Australia. Whilst I understand many of you want my reaction on it, as this is an ongoing court case, I hope you guys can understand that I can't and won't be commenting on it publicly. So yeah, I've just come on here to basically let you know the reasons as to why I can't. Love.
People are saying that made Philly seem even more guilty because not even your bro is coming forth and saying he didn't do that shit, which I agree. But at the same time, the people who are surrounded by young Philly have their place. They don't want to say anything because if they do say anything, they could be held responsible for what they said. So it's better to be, hey, I don't want to say anything now until the case is proven, than to be on Philly's side and be in the same predicament as him and lose all your shit. You could say, oh, you guys are slaves to the system and blah, 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 blah. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm not digging myself a hole because of something my friend did, bro. If you jump off a bridge, I am not jumping off with you, okay? My question is, why would Chunkz make a podcast with Philly knowing that he's doing all these things? Personally, in my personal opinion, I don't think Chunkz knew exactly what was going on. He just heard stories. And from stories, you can't really tell exactly what's going on. He never witnessed it himself. I just think Chunkz was keeping it cool, keeping it cordial for the sake of his opportunities. And it's a tough place to be in because, yeah, you want to keep it safe, keep it cordial, and you don't want to assume off of stories. And now you're just being held in the court of public opinion because you were affiliated with this person that did something fucking stupid. And now you're being asked questions like, hey, Chunkz, did you know this whole time? And you're just like, bruh, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Just leave me alone. And I sincerely don't think Chunkz knew exactly what was going on. He just heard stories and was just like, for the sake of business, I'm gonna keep it cordial, and made this podcast. I don't think he knew the depth of it if these allegations are true. You're going to see what happens in the courts of law, and we'll see if Philly would be locked up in Australian jail, which I can only imagine what that looked like, because wasn't Australia like made for criminals? Like they just threw all the criminals on this island. I think that's exactly how Australia was started. Yeah, it says in the late 18th century, Great Britain had to find a way to deal with its growing number of convict criminals. So they threw them in Australia. Convict music. This jail don't look too bad. It looks like a regular jail. It looks huge though. Having an SA charge is probably one of the worst charges you could get because people are going to be attacking you. Good luck to Philly. We'll see how this goes December 19th. Fresh and Fit, they have been taking L's left and right for a couple of years now, but this might be a win for them because they might be on the right side of things this time. But we'll see.